Hello, everyone. The passions after the release of the third season of The Witcher have already more or less laid down, and now we can calmly talk about its results. And these results are extremely disappointing, because on the account of the season number 3, several records, and the saddest thing, all of them with a minus sign. First, we can state a colossal drop in the number of viewers unseen before for The Witcher from Netflix. Secondly, no less stunning, but again, in a bad sense of the word, was, and the rating of the new season. As a result, now most viewers are sure that The Witcher is simply a series, which now no one else needs, and this is right in recent times, a real meme in the network. But the world press writes that Henry Cavill jumped from this sinking ship very timely. What do you think about the future of The Witcher series and Henry Cavill's decision to leave the project? Will Netflix be able to come to its senses and return to the right path, or will the project be another fiasco? Write about it in the comments and we will continue. Now we will discuss all this in detail, and you do not spare a like and subscribe to the channel here, and not interested. And we'll probably start with the views. The thing is that before Netflix, or not even the streamer himself, but the authors of The Witcher had an iron argument, say, whoever said what. But their series, like all the same people watch, so shut up haters. Such an agenda, in fact, contributed to the fact that The Witcher, every time after the release of its next season, was a certain time in the top in viewing on the platform, but the exact statistics of the number of these views Netflix until recently did not give, which gave rise to speculation. Now, we can finally say that the figures are available to us, and there is something to discuss. So, let's go in order, but from the end, from the third season, which was watched 327 million hours in 8 weeks after its release. If we divide this figure by the official duration of the entire season, we get an average of 43 million views. Now, if we go back a year and a half to season 2 in 2021, we find out that it was watched 509.5 million hours in just 6 weeks. So if we do the same trick with the timing of season number 2, it all equals 67.6 million views. And finally, if we take the very first season, we see that there the figure is even more impressive, which is about 663 million hours of viewing and 83 million views in total for 91 days after the release of the show. Thus, if we bring all this to some common denominator and take as a reference point the period of, for example, the first 6 weeks from the release of each of the seasons, it turns out that the last season, number 3, lost almost half of the number of viewers of the first, if more precisely, 48%, and 36% over the second. Whether that's a lot or a little, well, let's just say it's a little worse than the usual disaster. Well, because if we continue the dynamics, even without the deterioration that will definitely occur due to Henry Cavill's departure, it still turns out that by the end of the 5th season, The Witcher will simply lose all its viewers. Or to be more precise, they will be left with 5 to 10%. I think that's not what Netflix is aiming at when it started its Witcher saga. Moreover, in addition to the colossal drops in viewership, we can clearly see that the stars of the Witcher series are also starting to look away. The same Henry Cavill left, and say Freya Allan, who plays Ciri, is now clearly much more interested and intrigued by her future potential career in Hollywood, like a future project on Planet of the Apes. If we return to The Witcher, what is no less sad is how the ratings of this project for 4 years of its existence have changed. For example, it can be stated that the last 2 episodes of the third season of The Witcher received the lowest rating in the history of the series. As Forbes wrote, for example, The Witcher turned from the extremely praised first season, which mainly pleased fans of both books and games, mainly thanks to Cavill's game as Geralt, into something like a disaster. In support of this are figures from IMDb, for example, that the final 2 episodes of Season 3 were the lowest rated episodes in the history of the series on IMDb and boast figures of 4.2 and 5.3 points, respectively. And this we are not talking about Rotten Tomatoes, where the rating of the entire third season from viewers is simply appalling and fluctuates at about 19-20% out of 100. What can we say? A decent score by any measure. It's no wonder that after such a thing, many people said in full voice that The Witcher from Netflix is a real suitcase without a handle, which is kind of still sorry to throw away the streamer, but to carry it is not just hard, but almost unbearable. At the same time, many fans are calling on Netflix to cancel The Witcher after the third season, after watching which many viewers gave their verdict, and it was not favorable. Part of the audience felt that the show has been stuck in its problems since its inception, and now, especially with Cavill's departure, The Witcher is unlikely to recover from them. And while there are still viewers, yes, there are indeed those who want to learn about the new phase of this project with Liam Hemsworth in the role of Geralt of Rivia, but still most are doubtful about the future of the series. In fact, a good portion of the audience has already explicitly stated that Netflix should have canceled the next seasons so as not to disappoint the Witcher fan community any further. The saddest thing for this series and its authors is that not only ordinary people, but also quite reputable publications like Screen Rant, The Hollywood Reporter, and many others do not hesitate to say that Henry Cavill simply left the sinking ship in time. Henry Cavill has left The Witcher at the perfect time. That's the headline of an article like the one at Screen Rant. Henry Cavill's departure from The Witcher ahead of Season 4 has fans pessimistic about the future of the show from Netflix. But the actor may have abandoned ship at just the right time, according to the article. Cavill announced his plans to leave The Witcher in October 2022, confirming that Season 3 marks his final appearance as Geralt of Rivia. Liam Hemsworth will replace him in the future, which raises the question of whether the series from Netflix can really move forward without Cavill at the helm. After all, changing the lead at this late stage usually doesn't work well. The publication writes, Cavill was praised as the perfect actor for the role of Geralt of Rivia, and his passion for the Witcher franchise made him the perfect candidate for the lead role in the series. Unfortunately, this actor will no longer be on the set, but the report indicates a more serious problem facing the fantasy series, as its quality has deteriorated significantly compared to the first season of The Witcher. Screen Rant journalists continue. What do you think about the future of the series? Be sure to write about it in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Let's discuss it together. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon.